Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Dry Masters. We're turning a corner and heading into Christmas and New Year's. Very auspicious times. Very good times to get your bearings. The problem is that what people think their bearings are is, how do I get what I want? How do I get what will make me happy? How do I get that will make me inspired? How do I get that will make my life have deeper meaning? And people struggle with that all the time. And coaches, life coaches, and others, preachers, and so on, teach you that that's what you should do. You should strive for what will make you happy. Strive for what will make you fulfilled. The deep teachings, the real deep teachings, they're not about personal growth. They're about enlightenment. That's a very, very different thing. When we first published The Untethered Soul, of course, 17 years later, it has tremendous popularity. When it first came out, people wrote on Amazon different comments. Like the first 3, 4, 5 comments anybody ever wrote on the book. And I'll never forget one of them. And it said, "This is not a self-help book. This is how to get enlightened." And that's the truth. Along the way, it may help you. It may get some self-help. But that's not what the book is about. That's not what any of my books are about. So what's the difference? With self-help, we're starting from a misunderstanding that there's something wrong inside. There's something wrong with you. And you need to get things outside, relationships, finances, work, whatever, arranged to where you're more inspired, to where you're happier, to where you feel more love, more light. And so you struggle outside, and you think that's normal. You think it's normal to struggle outside to get things in a way that you feel better. The deep teachings, all the deep teachings, they don't teach that. But there's nothing wrong with that. Like sometimes people come to me and say, "Well, Mickey, you teach like this, but what if you're depressed? What if you've been depressed for years?" What do? You do what I just told you. You do the best you can to go outside and get things arranged to where you don't feel tremendously depressed, so that it can be uplifting enough to where you can do the real work. What's the difference? The real work is, and don't forget this, what is going on inside of me that's not okay, that I have to compensate with certain things happening outside so that I feel better inside. I'm going to repeat that because everybody's doing that. That's wonderful. And by all means, like I said, if you're lost, you're depressed, you have no hope, don't listen to me. Okay? Although I do teach that. But the real teachings are, why are you not okay right now? Why don't you feel overwhelming love all the time, no matter what's going on outside? Why don't you feel inspiration for every single thing you do? Every moment of your entire life, free of charge. Why? Doesn't take long to see why. Because I'm not okay inside. If I was okay inside, I'd dig it, man. Have fun. Just go out and accept what's happening and have fun with it and grow and give it to God and just, wow, this is great. But if I'm not okay inside, if I'm sick inside, if I'm problematic inside, if I'm blocked inside, if I'm sad inside, if I don't have energy inside, I need to do something from the outside that when it happens, it makes me feel better. I don't deny that works. It happens. Not very often, by the way. and it doesn't last. Anything you have to get outside so that it makes you feel good inside will not last. That's what the Buddhists teach. It's temporal. It's not wrong. It's just, it doesn't last. You meet somebody, you get all excited. It's my soulmate. That's my favorite term. Okay? This is my soulmate. I've met my soulmate. I'm so excited. Until the third date, when they show up with a bow tie, and your grandfather wore bow ties and he wasn't very nice to you, and all of a sudden you don't like the guy. And it ain't the third date, it'll be the fourth. It ain't the first year of marriage, it'll be the third. And it's the first kid, it'll be the fifth kid. Things happen so that it doesn't work anymore. If you need something outside to make you feel okay inside, that's a temporal state. The outside's constantly changing, and your inside's constantly changing. That which turned you on before doesn't turn on anymore. It maybe even turns you off. I'm not trying to take your Christmas away. I'm just telling you the absolute truth. If it requires something outside for you to be okay inside, it will not last. It cannot last. It will never last. It can't possibly last. You know that. You've been around the block. We got married. We were in ecstasy. Oh my God, I can't wait to get married. Now we stay together for the kids. Or whatever. You go to marriage counseling and you learn to tolerate each other. It's not wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. It's that way for everybody all the time. The outside is constantly changing. I told you, psychology teaches you, it says man is the sum of learned experiences. It's not totally true. You are the consciousness that is watching a psyche, mind and heart, that is the sum of learned experiences. Every single thing you like is because something happened to you before that taught you to like it. And everything you don't like because something happened before that made you not like it. Now it happens when they both happen 6 days away from each other. Hey, you become bifurcated. Come on, you're not new. You've been around the block. It keeps changing. Either your inside changes. Why? Because your inside is the sum of your learned experiences. You just had more experiences. Oh, you're madly in love with this girl. It was just so special and everything. And you're dating, you're doing this stuff, right? And somebody calls you from out of town that used to live in town and says, Mary Wilson you're talking about? Let me tell you something about what happened. I dated her for a while. Okay? I guarantee you, next time you see Mary, you do not feel the same as you did before you had that conversation. Yes or no? I'm not saying it can't pass, but your first interaction there, did you really? Is that true? Hear me? Immediately, it doesn't work. And there's always something. Answer me. Is there always something? There's always something. And there will always be something. Why? Because I give entire lectures on this. I want to do it in like 3 sentences. Why would there always be something? Because your likes and dislikes is programmed by the sum of your learned experiences. You did not make up what you like, and you did not make up what you don't like. You had experiences that taught you, don't like this. If you didn't have that experience, you wouldn't know that. Okay? So you've been programmed with that mindset and that heart set. How about the outside world? Is it programmed with your mindset and your heart set? They try to teach you that, but I don't want to talk about it. I think that's fine too. You can attract whatever you want, but I guarantee you what you want is based on your past experiences. So if you're out there thinking the whole answer to this thing is to attract the world to be the way you want it to be, a couple of things will happen. 1, you'll notice that you don't always want what you thought you wanted. And 2, it keeps changing. And 3, you start feeling guilty. Why can't I get what I want? Other people are manifesting what they... I had somebody literally that's all upset. I've been practicing manifestation for a long time, and it doesn't work. Other people are getting what they want. I don't get what I want. I feel so guilty. What's wrong with me? Why doesn't God love me? It's like the answer depends on the question you're asking. The question is not, how do I get what I want? The question is, why am I not okay with what is? Why don't I feel whole and complete with my entire interaction with life? And when you ask that question, it does not take long to see what happens, see what's going on. Your likes and dislikes are the sum of your learned experiences. Very good. The outside world is not the sum of your learned experiences. At what science book did you see that the weather is due to what you want, that the atoms pull themselves together with covalent bonds the way you want them to, that the quantum field is vibrating in accordance to what you want? Absolutely none. So how does the outside world work? I say this now. You have to be a scientist to understand what I'm about to tell you. It is the sum of its learned experiences. It is raining because of everything happened before over in the mountains in Spain or something, all right? And the wind that came across and the humidity and the ocean. And there are causes that made the outside be the way they are. Period. Every single thing is because of the physics, chemistry, science of how things work outside. And they work based on something called cause and effect. Period. They always work on cause and effect. Something happened, causing something else to happen. What does that have to do with what you want? Nothing. The outside world marched to the tune of its own drum. And that's what it's always done for 3.8 billion years. Every single thing is the way it is because of everything that was. That just all interacts together. And you inside, you're not interested in that. All you're interested in is what you want. Well, those two collide, don't they? They cause all kinds of problems. So you wake up. This is called waking up. It's real waking up. And Cicerone says, wait a minute. Why should the outside world be the way I want? I didn't make it. I sure as heck didn't make all the causes that happened before you guys showed up. Every one of you had causes before you came in here today. The car, the this, the that. I don't know anything about that. And I don't care what you want. This is what I want. Oh my God. How can that be okay? Because if you all do that, there'll be things be called wars, disharmony, because you all want something different. And the outside world is going to do its thing, and you're going to fight with everybody and everything for it to be your way. Does that happen out there? I mean, you read the newspapers? That's the cause of all trouble, all evil, all darkness, everything. Even if you start off with, no, what I want is good, okay? For some reason, and I don't want to get into it, I'm a nice Jewish boy, Hitler did not like Jews. Do you know that? You figure that out yet? Okay. Whatever the reason was, his childhood is this, is that, whatever it is, things outside were not the way he wanted, were they? And look what he did. And I'm telling you, though not to that extreme, obviously, every single one of you are doing the same thing. You are sitting there saying, what matters is what I want and what I don't want. Really? But how would you tell the atoms what to do? When did you communicate with the quantum field that's vibrating down there, causing manifestation of every single thing that manifests up here? I'm very confused why it should be the way you want. You know what I think? It should be the way it is. Why? Because it is the result of all the forces that made it be that way. Are they good? I didn't say anything about good. Are they right? I didn't say anything about right. Are they righteous? I didn't say anything about righteous. They just are. So the Zen master teaches when he says, grass is green, water's blue, flowers are red. Now go home. What kind of teaching is that? The real teaching. But I know the flowers are red and water's blue and grass is good. Now try living it. Try knowing it. Try not, it's not up to you to sit there and say, no, I don't want flowers to be red. But they are red. Well, that's depressing. That's causing suffering to me. I'm uncomfortable with that. So at some point you wake up and you say the starting position is the integration between this R word, reality. I like that word a lot, by the way. What is reality? That which has already happened. All the causes throughout the universe, all of creation came together. This flower on that tree is red. Does it have to be? No, I can put stuff in the soil and it'll turn peppermint. Can I? Okay. Why? Okay. You can. Nobody's saying you can't. But you start with accepting reality. Why? I don't know how to say that to you. I don't think you'd be here if you didn't understand. You have no choice. Reality is what is happening at this moment because of everything that made it be happening. It has nothing to do with right or wrong or just or anything. And if you say it should be in accordance with my preferences, go fight with each other because nobody agrees. Because all of them were programmed with their past experiences. Does anybody understand that? Does it make sense to you? Okay, you don't have to be a scientist to understand the basics of the foundation of the outside world. And then understand the foundation of the inside world. And they say never the twain shall meet. Yeah, they do. It's called enlightenment. It's called merging your being with the being. That's literally what enlightenment is. Okay? That whatever's going on inside of you is not personal. It's just in harmony with creation. It's in harmony with creation. I use the example, the Tao would use the following example. This is the essence of the Tao we're talking about, the way, the harmonious, integrated way. A leaf falls off a tree. To figure out what path it will take to the ground will take AI and better be a quantum computer too, because they will have to know every single force, including the stars. Gravity and the stars and solar bursts can affect things. So to watch that leaf fall, it is completely in harmony with all the forces that are making it fall the way it's falling. I don't have to understand the forces, but I know that every move it makes, I ain't doing it. It is in harmony with upward wind, with the gravity, with humidity, every single thing. And it doesn't have to think about it. It's because it's not thinking about it that's in harmony. That's why Meher Baba said, man minus mind equals God. Doesn't mean you don't think. It means your personal mind that has said, I am here, I am me, and I am what matters. That is not in harmony with reality. That's in harmony with yourself. So basically, when you get to the point where you understand, that's the problem. What problem? The one I started with, that you're not okay. It is the only reason you're not okay. You are not okay because you are pitting yourself against reality every minute of every day. How could you say that to me? I would never have said that to you. Well, you didn't have the experience they did. The moment, blah, blah, blah. There are reasons, but not the reason you want. When you ask that question, how could you do that? I would never have done that. Don't even stick around for the answer, because you don't want to hear the answer, because it will not fit you, because your experiences are totally different. So that leaf, I want you to think of that leaf. That leaf falls in harmony with the Tao. It's just in harmony with the universe. Wow. And so are all the stars. And so is the black hole. And so is, my God, get off the earth for a minute, please. I encourage you all the time. This earth that has events, your events are so tiny compared to what's actually going on. And 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. I say, Mickey, why do you keep telling you that? Because 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. And you're worried about what? The ketchup on your pants? That's embarrassing. You're worried about what somebody said yesterday. What do they mean by that? Who cares? You're just a tiny little, not even an ant, right? And you're not even staying here very long. What do you live here, 80, 90 years, 100 years? The Earth is 4.5 billion years old. See, your mind can't think about it. You've made your world so small that you can't hear a talk like this. Because what you want to hear is, how do I get what I want? How do I meditate and attract to myself what I want? How do I find the perfect mate? How do I not get sick? How do I not get old? I don't want to get old. I don't want to get old and decrepit. I do. I think it's fun as could be. All right. I think every step of everything is just a blast, man. Why? Because I don't think it's supposed to be some way it's not. So if I'm old and have to have an operation, or I'm old and lose some memory, okay, then that's how it is. It's exciting. I've never been there before, so you're going to be somewhere else. What do you want to have them say the same all the time? Yeah. And we'll talk about it. But you see what I'm saying? That basically you're not okay inside because of what I'm talking to you about. You're not okay inside because you're not okay with the outside. If you were in harmony with the outside, you would be fine. It's raining out. Wow, that's neat. The farmers get to grow. All kinds of things happen because of the rain. But no, tomorrow I'm supposed to go camping with my new boyfriend. And what if it's raining tomorrow? What are you doing? It's not even raining. You've created this thing called worry, which is, what do you worry about? That it might not be the way I want. I worry that it might not be the way I want, or I worry that it will be the way I don't want. Well, then you're not going to be happy. How do you like that? You can't possibly be happy. But what if it doesn't rain tomorrow? Fine, it'll rain some other day, or it won't rain when you want it to. It is not going to be the way you want, is it? Why? It is not supposed to be. And no one will dare to tell you that. That's taking candy from a baby. It is not supposed to be the way you want. You're supposed to be in harmony with creation, in harmony. What did Christ say? God, the more I grow, the more his teaching is just, I can't even think about it. He said something that was so deep. Not my will, but thy will be done. What does that mean? It's not supposed to be the way I want. But you don't hear it that way, do you? Does it say that? Not my will, but thy will be done. Not what I decided I want, but the reality of creation as it's being created by the divine force every second, every moment. Not my will, but thy will. Anybody ever dare to challenge you with that one? Whereas what you're saying is to God, not thy will, but my will. And in fact, I will pray that you do it my way. I'm not trying to embarrass you, and I like that you pray. I'm not taking it away. But I know what your prayer should be. Not my will, but thy will. To which God says, don't worry, it'll be that way. Don't even sweat it at all. That's the way it's going to be. All right. So you understand the problem is not that things are not the way you want outside. You're used to thinking the only way it can be okay is if the outside matches the inside. Well, it's not going to. And you have to struggle to make it happen. You understand that? Do you struggle? Do you worry? Do you have tension and anxiety and fears and insecurities? All those very, very human emotions. What is insecurity? I do better when you're around and I'm afraid that you might not like me anymore. What's jealousy? I was not okay before I met you. And now that I'm with you and the outside's the way I want it to be, I feel so much better. Why are you talking to her? Why are you hanging out with her? Who are you talking to? Am I right or wrong? Oh, you don't know anything about jealousy? You don't know anything about insecurity? They are manufactured inside naturally because of what you did. Because you said, I want this, and I'm afraid it's not going to happen. I'm clinging because it did happen. I'm struggling to make it happen. Whatever it is, that is what you're doing. Well, it's the option that I don't be okay? No. There's a line one of the deepest, deepest Zen teachings. Ram Dass used to hand out this little booklet back in the old days, and it's so beautiful. And all it needs is one line. The first line from the teachings called Faith Mind. The teaching of the third Zen patriarch taught something called Faith Mind. All right? And it starts with the following. The great way, enlightenment, the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. I'll repeat that. The great way, now we're not talking about, personal growth. We're talking about enlightenment. Where Buddha went, where Christ came from, the great way, where the masters reside. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences, right? It goes on from there, right? Well, why is that true? Because if you have preference, how about this? The great way is very difficult for those who have preferences. About anything, about everything. I'm trying to meditate, and the dogs are barking outside. Well, you're not going anywhere. I had a perfect relationship, and we were so spiritual, we were growing together, and she left me. How you doing? Terrible. I needed that relationship. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Doesn't mean you have no feelings. It means you're okay with your feelings. It doesn't mean, okay, I'm a human, but I have no preferences. That's a lie. It's not true. Your preferences are the sum of your learned experiences. Did you have experiences? Were some of them pleasant and some of them not pleasant? Answer me. You don't deny that. You don't suppress that. It's not spiritual bypassing. You honor and respect. I've had experiences. My lower self, my mind, lower mind, the ego mind, has been programmed with this. And naturally, if it doesn't go the way I want, there are these feelings that come up. Is that okay with you? Or do you prefer that they don't? That's what it means. See the difference? You accept everything, including your insecurity, including jealousy, including the feelings. And what happens? You learn something really great, and that's what I'm teaching tonight. If you don't resist that, it passes through. If you resist it, it stays inside. If something happened to you in the past that hurt you, and you couldn't handle it, so you pushed it away, it's called suppression. You pushed it down. It's still there. That's why you're not okay inside. And that is the only reason you're not okay inside. Yes, you can feel jealousy. Yes, you can feel fear. Yes, you can feel sorrow when somebody you love dies. I hope you do, or something's wrong with you. It's a very natural event in life. The outside is part of the inside, part of the outside part of the inside. If you get out of the way, it's when you're in there, the consciousness with will, and you say, no, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to think this. I don't want that to happen. Well, but it did happen. Now what are you going to do? I'm going to make believe it didn't happen. It's called denial. I'm going to make sure I don't have to feel it. I don't want to feel it. It's called suppression. All of psychology is based on you not accepting reality. And what do? Then you push it away, and all that stuff gets built up. I teach you this all the time. Anything you pushed away is still in there. How do you know? I check your dreams out. Check if somebody says the name of somebody that bothered you before. Check if a car drives by that reminds you of the one that your boyfriend broke up with you in that car in, 12th grade. Your heart changes, and your thoughts change, your mood changes. In other words, it's still in there. What if it's 30 years ago? It's still in there. Well, what if it happened in my childhood, and I'm 55 years old now? It's still in there. Who said so? Freud. They taught you this, but nobody's listening. It is because you resisted the experience that it was a problem. The experience was not a problem. It didn't feel good. Nobody says it'll feel good. All right? Can you handle it? Can you handle that somebody said something, they insulted you, you feel this insult, and so on, and you sit there and say, fine. Into every life, some rain, some people must be insulted. Right? And you literally say, I can handle this. I don't want to carry it around for the rest of my life. I challenge you with this all the time. Why would it be intelligent to take the thing that hurt you the most in life and store it inside of you so it can keep hurting you for the rest of your life, even though it never happens again? There's nothing intelligent about that at all. But that's what you do. Why? You're protecting yourself. Nobody taught you otherwise. You understand that? Nobody taught you otherwise your entire life. You're supposed to make sure it doesn't happen again. Why? Because they couldn't handle it this time. I don't want it to happen again. And we just stored it. Then I have to watch out for it. Maybe it's happening. How do I know? How do I know who's talking? Do you hear me? It makes you this thing called a human. It's a very human thing. There's nothing wrong with the natural reaction. Of course, if I love you and you leave or you die, I'm going to feel loss. Otherwise, I didn't love you. You understand that? My energy is connected with yours, and I'm going to feel that. Is that okay with you? That they died? No, they died. Is it okay with you? But I feel lost. Is that okay with you? Is it okay that you're in there experiencing the reality that's unfolding, but not getting lost in it, not suppressing it, not denying it? No one teaches you this, but they teach you is try to make sure it doesn't happen. Make sure it doesn't happen again. There was manipulate the world, manipulate people, do everything you can to protect yourself, to make sure it doesn't happen again, as opposed to, I can handle it. What does that mean? It means I can handle it. I told you once somebody asked the great master, one of the highest masters ever lived, Sri Ramakrishna. He was fully enlightened, all right? And they asked him, Master, does an enlightened being ever feel anger? He said, yes. But it's like riding on water. What's the problem if you write your essay on water? No one's ever going to read it. It just passes through. Yes, it comes up. You feel it. But you say, I'm okay feeling it. I'm not changing it so it doesn't hurt. That's not why I'm okay. I'm okay that it hurts. Is it okay that it hurts? Can you be okay that it hurts? Or did you decide that, no, there shouldn't be any hurt in this world? Well, you go somewhere else. You better sign up for Mars. There's hurt in this world, in there. Things hurt, physically, emotionally, whatever it is. Is that okay? Is it okay with you that you feel that? The answer has to be yes. And I will teach you how to grow into a state. And that's how I started off by saying, you want to be happy? You think being happy is to get what you want and avoid what you don't want. Happy is that you're not all caught up in these preferences that you can't be happy because they're not exactly what you want in the order you want them to be. The great way is not difficult. Those have no preferences. Well, and includes the preference that you don't hurt. Things hurt. Do they or not? Anybody ever got hurt? Can you make it go away by suppressing it and never thinking about it and making believe it didn't happen? Of course not. How do you make it go away? To let it go away. And this particular day, I'm feeling this. I feel somebody said something. My heart felt sad. I noticed it. That's the witness. That's where witness consciousness comes from. Did you notice that it hurts? Of course I noticed that it hurts. Oh, pranam to you. You noticed. Oh, that's so beautiful. Namaste. No. I don't want to just notice it. I want to stop it. There you go. There's the difference. Of course you notice it. You're not bypassing anything. You're noticing it. And you don't bypass, you let it bypass. You let it flow through. If you do, it doesn't leave scars. So what spirituality is about is not getting things the way you want and getting upset if they're not and getting excited if they are, because they ain't staying that way. And you know it. It's sitting there saying, I'm okay in here. And if I'm not okay in here, it's because I stored garbage in there and it's getting hit. You behaved like my stepfather did. You were saying glasses. I can't stand looking at you because it reminds me of what he was like. Of course you're not okay, because you stored everything that ever bothered you before inside of you, and now it's getting hit. So you can't be okay. How can I be okay? You start working inside instead of outside. You're going to see. Doesn't mean you don't work outside. It's an interactive sport, life. But the root is inside. If you're not okay, it's not because something didn't happen to make you be okay. By definition, you weren't okay to start with. If something has to happen to make you be okay. You work on being okay. Then come out and interact with the world. That's a much more beautiful way to interact. I'm okay. How would you like to know when you wake in the morning that you can handle anything that will ever happen that day? Not by suppressing, not by fighting. Just been there, done that. I've been around the block enough. I can handle it. I'm not afraid of a new relationship. I know they don't always work out. Yes, I had heart pain when they broke up. Fine. I'm open. I'm open. I'm open to experiencing reality. I'm open to experiencing life. I'm open to loving. These, by the way, are Christ's teachings. Love those who can't love you. You understand that? How? Because you let go. It's fine. It's fine. Everybody's not the same. I can handle that. I can handle that you are the sum of your learned experiences. Just to say that, it means I've accepted that she is different than me. And she's not going to be the way I want her to be. She's going to be the way the sum of her learned experiences molded her until she gets high enough that she can let go of the influence that the sum of her learned experiences have on her. Not deny it, not suppress it, but it literally, do you know that it can pass through? Do you know that everything can pass through? How about you? Are you okay with the rain? Yeah, I like the rain. Really? What if it rains a little bit hard? Oh, I like the hard rains. You could be like that, as opposed to, no, I don't like the rain. I get wet. I don't want to get wet. And as I have to go out and deliver something and I'm worried about whether it's going to get wet. Okay, well, you're neurotic. I guarantee you, you're not happy as she is. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preference. I just gave you a down-to-earth example. Is it true? I don't like the wind. I don't like the wind. It messes my hair up. I'm afraid that it'll blow me away. I've seen movies and hurricanes. People get just blown away. I don't want that to happen to me. It's a 5-mile way, but it could be stronger. If you want, you can make yourself so neurotic you can't even live your life. Or you can sit there and say, I can handle the wind. I like the wind. You know what Yogananda once said? The wind blowing across your face is God coming down to caress you. Well, that's a nice way to look at it. I love it. And you just get to the point where you understand it's the truth. If I don't have all these preferences, which basically say I don't want it to be the way it is, or I want it to be some other way, I can be okay. So the work is on your inner state, not the outer world. The outer world, just like the leaf, the part I hope you'll understand someday, the outer world will take care of itself. Ooh, what kind of statement is that? That leaf falls in complete harmony with all of creation. And so will you. Doesn't mean you'll get what you want. It means when you look back, you'll cry at how it unfolded. How you are in perfect harmony with what was meant to happen and how it unfolded and what effect it had on others. And it's ridiculous. That's what my whole book, The Surrender Experiment, was about. It's ridiculous how reality is. But you're not willing to see it because you think you'll only be okay if you get what you want. You're not willing to sit there and let it go to hell in a handbasket if that's what it was meant to go. Or do you think that I was out of tune with God, it went to hell in a handbasket? No. It went to hell in a handbasket. Well, you see what happens after that? Are you willing to honor and respect that things will take place that don't feel good inside, but you can feel good? You can be at peace, understanding, respecting, give space things need to pass through. Let's say you're having a relationship. It's your first relationship. You're young, first relationship you had, and you have a fight. And you think, oh, it's over. Oh my God, I never thought we'd have a fight. And you think the relationship is over. Is it over because you had a fight? Guess what? If you think it is, it is. What if you sit there and say, well, we can work this out. I want the relationship more than I want to avoid what it feels like that we had a fight. And so you stay in the game. Works its way out pretty good. You understand that? In fact, you're a better person because you stayed. You learned something, didn't you? So this is what all of life is like. I mean, I'm talking really deep with you because I know you don't like me telling you that if something hurts you inside, you should be okay. But not that okay doesn't mean it stops hurting. Okay means it's okay that it's hurting. You hear me? That's what it means. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. I mean, no preferences. You're in the self. That's what it means to be seated in the self. You're looking down at the human. Of course it goes through what it needs to go through. And guess what? You're going to find out that everything it goes through is for its benefit. You're just here to experience the divine creation. What is it? Christ said, let those of eyes to see, let them see. Let those of ears to hear, let them hear. In other words, it's right in front of you. How do I know what God wants? Open your eyes. It can't be other than what it is for that moment. Can you honor and respect that this is the manifestation of the quantum field of God's will of whatever you want? And the answer is no, you can't do that. Why? Because you have preferences. Because you have views and concepts and hopes and dreams and beliefs. And they are making it so you suffer. They're making it so you're afraid what's going to happen if you die. You poor thing. You poor thing. You're living your life. You're trying to give it to God. You're serving to the best of your ability, but you're afraid of what will happen when you die. That is the biggest non sequitur that ever existed. What will happen when you die? What happens when you die? It's none of your business. You live the life that the best you can of letting go of yourself, not saying it should be my way and it shouldn't be not my way and judging everything and just sitting there saying, I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve others. It's not about me. It's about the universe. It's about God. It's about creation. Then you don't have to think about anything. This is what it means to get high, what it means to really be high spiritually. So again, I go back to where I started. You think that to be happy means you have to get what you want. No. To be happy is to be open all the time. You've let go of all these blockages you stored inside. And that's what we're going to talk about. Can you do that? You have stuff inside of you you're afraid of, yes or no? You have stuff inside of you that when it comes back up, you push it back down. Just answer me, yes or no. All right. What if you didn't do that? What if it comes back up, you said, I don't want this inside of me. It's been bothering my whole life. It's the bane of my existence. Why do I want to push it back down so I can store it and keep it there so that I can have a mediocre life where I'm not totally open and I have to always keep my eye on what's going on so that nothing hurts me? That's what you're saying, isn't it? And everything to be the way I want, all right? I'm challenging you to say, what if you didn't have to do that? What if you learned to be okay, period, no matter what? And just saw it, God's will is going to unfold in front of me. Why? Because that's all there is. Like, people don't use the word God the way I do. I start with the quantum field. People say, well, why do you teach all this physics? I don't know much physics, but I know that what physics says is that there are no molecules, there are no atoms, there are no neutrons or protons. There's just these wavelets at the quantum level, and they manifest as neutrons and protons and electrons, and they put themselves together to make what you're looking at right now. That's enough God for me, baby. Let me just stop for a minute and look outside. That is all emanating from the quantum field every single moment. God did not create creation. God is creating creation. Or it wouldn't be here. Just check the quantum field out a little, and you'll see that they sit there and tell you it is an omnipresent force field. No matter. There's no matter. There's no particles. There's just a field, and that field has qualities. Plus, minus, color, whatever it is. And those qualities combine together and they make neutrons and protons, and then they combine together, and next thing you know, you're looking at this. So right now, God is creating this. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist. Please, I know it's hard for you to understand. But if you ask a physicist, what if the quantum field wasn't there? There's nothing here. The whole of all of creation all the stars, all the galaxies, it's right now emanating from the quantum field. At least understand that. You don't have to understand quantum physics, but understand that is what every physicist in the world, it's called the Standard Model. They let it all out, they challenged it, and this is what's going on, is that every single thing that is emanating from this field of wavelets that is omnipresent everywhere. And so, okay, man, can you handle that? And I want you to say, yes. You come out here and I would say, yeah, I think I better handle that. Why? Because that's what it is. And then you get to the point where your whole life changes completely if you understand that. What do you mean? You wake up in the morning and you find out that your bed is still there, your dress is still there, your body's still there. I'm telling you, it's not there if that thing's not making those wavelets. You're not separate from it. It's just coming. Okay, some of you look at me blank. I'll do it this way. I used to teach it this way way back years ago in a college class. All right? Ready? I have in my hand some water. I have water in my hand. I'm going to ask you a question. Be careful, because you want to pass this test. Do I have in my hand water, or do I have H2O molecules? All right? Do I have water? Do I have H2O molecules? Or do I have hydrogen and oxygen atoms? Do I have hydrogen and oxygen atoms in there? Or do I have electron, neutron, and protons in my hand? Do you understand how deep this is spiritually? Because that's what's going on. They are simultaneously, the electron, neutron, and proton are putting themselves together to create hydrogen and oxygen atoms, which are putting themselves together to create H2O molecules, which are putting themselves together so that you see it as water. Is it water? Don't you dare answer. I want it to bend your mind. And in the end, do you have electron, neutron, and proton in your hand? Or do you have quantum level quarks and leptons and bosons, forces combining themselves together so that two up quarks and a down quark make a proton and two down? In other words, you don't even have that. Those are not the elemental particles. It goes down below that. And do you even have those particles? No, they tell you, no, there are no particles. There's just wavelets of energy or whatever. And they combine themselves together to make the quantum supposed particles. So what do you got in your hand? Nothing. Einstein said it. Einstein said the following: reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. In other words, you wake up in the morning, your body looks pretty much the way it did when you went to bed. Your bed looks the same, the dresser looks the same, the ceiling looks the same, only because they are emanating from that field, which is dynamically changing all the time. And putting yourself together, make you cry. Putting yourself together exactly the same so that you can have this experience, which you're not really having because it's not here. Now do you see why I teach physics as part of the spirituality? So what about the God thing? It's easy. You just go one step. If you ask a quantum physicist, what is the quantum field made of and where did it come from? They are very honest. They say, we have no idea. We just know the behavior patterns that let us see that that's what's happening. We can study it, we can break them apart and see stuff, all right? All right. Well, yogis, the great masters, the enlightened ones know where it comes from. It's not a quantum field of energy. It's consciousness. Omnipresent everywhere. Omnipotent, the cause of all power, of all forces, and omniscient. It is aware of itself. See, I'll talk about God, but I won't be able to because I choke up. It is a omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. It knows that it's there, where everywhere. It is literally an awareness of being that is aware of everything in every galaxy. Why? Because it's making it. It's emanating it. The root is consciousness. The root is awareness of being, and then it ties back. Who are you? Consciousness. That's why Christ said, "My Father and I are one." Like you get it, and you're not a person. No, I want it to be the way I want. That is not what it's about. Getting what you want, is it? It's about. I used to sing a song in the '60s. We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do, it's like you're a great being. But you're caught staring down at yourself. And then you think the only way you're going to be okay is to get what you want. No. You be okay by learning to let go. to let go of this staring and binding and addiction to yourself. And then you realize, well, I'm the one who's noticing these thoughts and who's noticing these emotions. Where did I come from? And then that's your ascent. Where did your consciousness come from? Are you conscious? Are you conscious and aware of what's going on in there? Yes or no? Do you have thoughts? How do you know? Do you have emotions? How do you know? Because I'm conscious. I hope you now have tied that consciousness, the one I just told you is the quantum field, because there's only one consciousness, and it's yours. But you're busy using that consciousness to stare at this. Oh my God, how small are you? Just for a second, will you please? I'm not trying to insult you. How small are your thoughts? How small is your body? How small are your emotions compared to the 8.3 billion people that all have them too? And 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. And there's 300 billion stars in your galaxy. And there's 2 trillion galaxies. How important are you? Come on, give me an answer. Somebody wrote me, when you say this, you make me feel so small. Good. I'm sorry. It's the truth. Is it not the truth? It's ridiculous that you say this is who I am. That is not who you are. You're the consciousness staring at the sum of your stupid learned experiences. Well, why are they stupid? Because there's 700 billion things that were going at the same time that you had your experience all over the universe. So you happen to be standing there when this thing unfolded, okay? And you start, that's what Christ said, but he who's last will be first. And the greatest amongst you are the humblest, all right? When you stop thinking that I'm the most important thing in the universe. Let me ask you a question now. We had a nice talk. Are you the most important thing in the universe? Holy mackerel. You're the most important thing in Earth. You're not even the most important thing in your household. Your kids don't listen to you. All right? So you're going to suffer, but you did it. You did it by saying, I decided what I want, and if things are that way, I'm okay, and if they're not, I'm not okay. It's that simple. But spirituality says, well, why, maybe we better work on that. Because I just told you, it's not going to be the way you want. So you're going to struggle your whole life, be tense and anxiety and all that kind of stuff, fears. Well, how do you get rid of that? By coming inside. That's what I teach. You have a few minutes left. How do you get there? You do not start with the big stuff. There's stuff inside of you that you can't even handle thinking about, and you know it. And if anything reminds you of it, your mood changes, everything. You tell people, we don't talk about that around your father. Whoa, what's wrong with daddy? He can't handle anything. So what do? You don't start with that. I'm begging you to understand it's not about ripping that deep stuff out. It's about saying, can I handle that it's raining out right now? Well, of course. Do you? No, I complain all the time. I complain all the time. Well, how about we practice not complaining? How about we practice honoring and respecting reality? That's my challenge to you. The little stuff. Can you handle the driver in front of you? Then use the blinkers, keep stepping on the brakes, drives 15 miles an hour below the speed limit when you're in a rush. You're doing okay? Maybe you practice there. I'm trying to explain to you. It's just like practicing tennis. It's like practicing the piano. You practice and you get better. You practice handling reality. Don't cry. These are the deep teachings. Well, why? Because if you can't handle the little stuff, you ain't going to handle the big stuff. If you can't handle it's raining when you don't want it to, if you can't handle because the driver's not driving the way you want them to, you're not going to be able to handle that somebody left. You're not going to be able to handle somebody die. You're not going to be handle that you didn't get the raise. There's a whole escalation of junk you got in there. So you start practicing with the simple stuff. It's fun. It's fun. You find a way to make it be fun. I'm glad it's hot. Why? I used to teach this. What does it mean it's hot? I'm very close to this thing called the sun. What is that? A star? I'm close to a star? Did you know you were close to a star? No one ever told you that. It's a star. It's one of those twinkling little things you see in the sky. You're just close enough to it that it's that big. Wow. You don't get sunburned, you get starburned. Will you start having fun? It's so hard to talk about it because you all won't listen, all right? That star is 93 million miles away from Earth. How far is Miami? 360? 93 million. How hot is that sucker? That you're 93 million miles away and you feel this heat pouring down on you. You start saying thank you instead of complaining. Use your mind for your intellectual, abstract thinking, not for this stupid sum of your learned experiences. That's called the personal mind. So you start letting go, but you do it. You have to practice because you don't naturally do that. You naturally complain. You naturally have preferences. You don't deny your preferences. You don't suppress them. You don't deny them. You say, well, why do I prefer rain over not rain? I love rain. I love not rain. I love when you open the door for me. I love the door being open. I love the door not being open. I love what you wore yesterday, which was weird. I love what you're wearing today. And I love that you're weird. The great way is not difficult for those who prefer everything. So don't practice getting rid of preferences. Practicing honor and respecting that everything is wonderful. Everything's amazing. Do we have history? Do you have a past? Is that okay with you? The moment it's okay with you, it doesn't come back up and haunt you because I'm okay with it. Yes, my parents got divorced. All right, I remember that time. It was very painful. Is that okay with you? Yeah, I grew a lot. It was tremendous. I'm better off than people that had their parents together all the time because I got to work through that. I got to see why relationships don't work. I got to learn so much. Do you hear me? If you do that all day, some things will be bigger and you won't be able to do it. You'll fall down. That's okay. It's okay. If you hit the ball into the net, just get up and try again. It's okay. I know you can't handle all of it. And some of it comes up by itself. That's fine. Do the best you can to let go. That's how I teach. It starts to come up. You get weird and you know you're going to get lost. What are you going to do? You do the best you can to stay clear for as long as you can. Then it takes you down. It's strong. Yes or no? Can it pull you down? All right, pulls you down. Fine. But at some point, it lets you back up. Time, this, that, somebody says something, whatever. Come back up as soon as you can. And don't judge yourself. Listen to me. I'm telling you how to grow spiritually. When you come back up, do not judge that you fell or that you put another layer of junk on top of the whole thing and will make you more sensitive and more weird. Just stay as long as you can. Come back up as soon as you can. Brush yourself off and say thank you. Thanks. Because the next time it happens, you'll stay a little bit longer and you'll come back a little bit sooner. But don't judge. No guilt, no shame. Just go through the process and then start letting go of the easier stuff the best you can. That's what you do. See, I'm working at all levels. And eventually, I'm going to say it to you, you'll become what's called established in the seat of self. You will not get pulled down. Doesn't mean there won't be stuff coming up, but it'll be at a distance. You'll realize I'm back here and it's down there. And that's the truth, by the way. You're back here and it's down there. You'll get to the point where you realize you have to look down to see your stuff. You have to look down to see the ego. You have to look down to see that the world affected the ego. But you won't go down. It's not strong enough to pull you down. But you got to go through some serious stuff. Some serious men there have done that. That's how you learn. Earth is a place that souls are sent to evolve. How you doing? How are you evolving? By making everything be the way I need it to be so I don't evolve. Okay, that ain't going to work out so good. Are you hearing me? And then eventually, I'm telling you, you will not get pulled down. It will be there, but eventually it doesn't even challenge you. You just see it. And it's just like, okay, yes, been there before. I ain't going back there. I don't have to push it away. It's welcome to come up and pass through. I know how it works. Come up, pass through. And the next thing you know, you won't be looking down anymore. At some point, you'll look up and you say, well, wait a minute. This is nice in here where I live. It's always okay. The sun is always shining. Where does the sun come from? What is this force that's pulling me up into it? And you start what's called the ascent instead of the descent. They talked to you about the fall from the garden. I've explained to you the fall from the garden. So when your consciousness gets pulled down into all the stuff. The ascent is when you're no longer getting pulled. You're not trying to make it happen. You're just grown enough. You're just grown enough. When your daughter goes out on her first date and it didn't work out good, and she's crying, you feel compassion. You say, don't worry, there'll be more. you got a long way to go, baby. But you don't tell her that, okay? That's how you talk to your lower self. All right? We've been there before. We're okay. We're okay. And you raise it up, and eventually it starts pulling you up. Not the lower self, but as you let go of staring down, it starts pulling you up. And you understand where the great masters went. They got pulled up so far that they were challenged to even sense themselves as individual. They were staring down at something, but now they're not. But they still have a sense of, I'm the self. I'm the one who's aware of all this. And then that starts to be taken away. And ultimately, the merger takes place. That's what the merger is called. That's what yoga means, union. You let go so completely. Christ called it dying to be reborn. He's a yogi, right? They let go enough to where the drop of their consciousness fell into the ocean of consciousness. Which ocean? The one I talked about a minute ago that's created a quantum field. My Father and I are one, right? It's close to Christmas and New Year's. It's time we wake up and understand the truth of what's being taught. All right, we had a nice talk. But the important part is, what's the technique? Let go. Honor and respect every single thing you can. And what you can't, get yourself back up and learn. Just learn from it and understand reality unfolds, and I'm fine with it. Now what? How can I help? That's what I tell you. I told you, you come back at some point, and there's nothing left in you that needs it to be anyway. Why? Because everything's the way you want? No, because everything's the way it is, and you're fine with it. And now you get to a point where there's no reason that you come back here except to serve. How can I help? That's all that's going on. Situation's unfolding. Do the best you can to help. Help what? You? No. Help the situation. Help the leaf on its journey, on its perfect fall. Very good. Jai Gurudev.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.